Hello, Grapperinos, and welcome to another exciting episode of Probably Next Week on Smackdown. I'm Bryon, and I am once again joined by a man who is shocked that LA Knight has advanced into the Last Time Is Now tournament. Mike, say hi, Mike.
I have to tell you, for a Boston sports fan and an LA Knight supporter, I was eating fantastic last week, man. Bro, John Cena won the IC title off of Dom. LA Knight not jobbing out. It was a great day. It
Yeah.
was really a great day. Yeah.
We'll see how far LA Knight gets. I assume he's probably gonna get into the finals. I hope we can get him into the at least the semifinals or the finals. And as for Dominic Mysterio and John Cena, well, it's not over yet. We still got Survivor Series to look forward to. That's when John Cena and Dominic Mysterio go one again. Go one again. Go again for the Intercontinental Championship. But that is for, I guess that's for Raw. So we're just covering for SmackDown. The best show of the WWE. Definitely better than Raw, for sure. So we are booking the next episode of SmackDown as we head into the Survivor Series War Games Premium Live event. Hope you guys spend your money very wisely, depending on what you see. But we are heading into that PLE, and we are going to book the next episode of SmackDown according to these rules. For those of you who are not aware, here are the rules. And basically, based on that, we are going to book the show and tell you what we think is going to happen from beginning to end. And then we will watch the next episode of the show, the actual next episode of SmackDown. And then we will score our predictions and bookings based on this point system. And then we will go back here next week or on the next episode of the show and then tell you what we got. So, I would say decent week for both of us, I guess. I mean, I got 11 points. I think that's mostly due to the fact that the MFTs are there. I had to count how many members are on the MFT so far and how many of them were injured. Because I'm pretty sure that JC Mateo was injured. So I may be one off. But I think there are 4 members in the MFTs that are active right now, right? I don't know. I'm still confused by this. But anyway, I got the MFTs, I guess, most of them. And I got Jade Cargill and Jey Uso winning their respective matches. And then we have an Alexa Bliss appearance. And of course, we have Division at, I suppose, is it the end or somewhere in the show? But
It's at
that's
the end,
my,
yes.
yeah, that was my 11 points. But what did you get? I think you got a 6.5.
I get a 6.5. I need to learn, and I think I learned this week to include the MFTs at basically any point because they give you a lot of points and they're guaranteed to show up at any point. So I did get them showing up. I had them in a match actually instead of interference. So I got most of my points basically from booking who was going to win a match and not booking actually who showed up. So, but I have a lot of stuff for this week, so I'm confident that I can make up a lot of points this week. So,
Yeah, for sure. I did not put much thought into this, but we'll see. We'll see if it pans out. Let's go on to what are the announced things on the show. We got Carmelo Hayes versus Bronson Reed in the Last Time Is Now tournament first round. I thought we were in the quarterfinals already, but we're still in the first round matches. And we have Finn Balor. I said Finn Balor. Finn Balor versus Penta as well in the Last Time Is Now tournament first round match. And then we have Fraxium versus DIY. So without further ado, let's book this thing. Get to my version of the show. As Charlotte and Alexa walk to the ring. Alexa Bliss talk about what happened last week on SmackDown and on Monday Night Raw. She says that she is glad Charlotte actually came by for her and saved her from the attack by Nia Jax and Lash Legend and the other women that were in the match. I guess it's Kabuki Warriors, but there you go. Kabuki Warriors then interrupt, saying that the reason why the Kabuki Warriors are actual champions compared to Charlotte and Alexa is because Asuka and Kairi are actual friends and rely on each other. And we have Kairi nodding along forcefully for Asuka there. Asuka then compares Alexa and Charlotte to a bunch of dogs, insert a bunch of Japanese verbiage. And then we have Charlotte and Alexa countering the Kabuki Warriors, which leads to a brawl between the two groups. However, Charlotte and Alexa are then attacked from the back by Nia Jax and Lash Legend. And then we have Rhea Ripley come out to help Charlotte and Alexa, but is then helped out by Io Sky as well. Again, we have the 4-on-4 to set that up. And then Nick Aldis comes out and says, well, you guys want to do this now? You want to do War Games now? Well, guess what? War Games is going to be in a week away. But for now, I'm going to let both of you groups pick a representative from your team. This match will determine the advantage for War Games. So pick one and do it right now. So both groups pick their representatives. And the baby faces pick Io Sky. The heels pick Nia Jax. And we go to Io Sky versus Nia Jax. And I am going to have Nia Jax win by pinfall because of a distraction from Lash Legend. And then we have a brawl after the match, obviously. And then I am going to reveal the 5th member of both the babyfaces and the heels for the Women's War Games match, which are... First, I'm going to introduce Roxanne Perez from the Judgment Day. She interferes in this match to help out the heels. And then she is attacked by Lyra and Bailey to round out the Women's War Games team. So now you have a 5-on-5. And then the faces go on top after the brawl as the segment closes. So I think we should have 5 people. Io Sky, Rhea, Lyra or Bailey, whichever one. And then we have the other 2 guys, Alexa and Charlotte. There you go. And the heels, they have one from the Judgment Day to even out the 5 from the babyface side. As for who wins War Games, I don't really care. I guess if I have to pick, probably the baby faces. But yeah, there you go. We'll move on to a US Championship match between Javon Evans and Ilya Dragunov. I know Javon Evans didn't win his match against Gunther, but Road Dogg needs to realize that he has Javon Evans on the show and actually has to put them there. So that's why we should have this match, probably. I don't know. But we'll have Ilya Dragunov win by pinfall. So yeah, Javon Evans keeps failing. I guess you could put him into a feud against Aleister Black next, I guess. But you're not really giving him a lot of opportunities so far. This is another one to sort of highlight him as a star. Potentially. It should be a good match, but I think Ilya is going to retain here. And this would probably lead to, Tama Tonga and all that shenanigans. And yeah, we'll move on from that to a Jade Cargill promo. I hope this one lasts longer than 10 seconds, but we shall see. She talks about what happened last week. She says she is still that B word and a champion, and she's just, the best woman on the roster. No one in that locker room cannot compete with Jade Cargill. He then talks trash about BFAB, says that she is not a good wrestler. She's not even as good as she is. And she gets interrupted by Michin, who calls Jade a B word because she is actually a B word. And maybe drops the other word that people kind of use for added pop, just to add that edge to this feud. And we have the two brawl. I think there's going to be a match made.
What word are you implying they're going to use, Bryn?
The C word.
Oh, okay. All right. Just making sure.
Yeah. Anyway, so the two brawl matches made for the Go Home show for the Survivor Series PLE for the Women's Championship between Jade Cargill and Michin. And if you think Michin is going to win that one, sorry to say, but Jade Cargill will win that one, no matter who she's going up against. She's going to be marketed as an unstoppable champion until Bianca returns. We can have that feud again, and Bianca, I don't know, wins, I guess. So there you go. We'll move on to Finn Balor versus Penta. For the last time is now tournament first round match. I'm going to have Finn Balor win by pinfall. I think Finn Balor has history with John Cena. So, yeah, I think he's winning there. Moving on, Fraxium versus DIY. I'm going to have DIY win by pinfall. Definitely not because Tommaso Ciampa is great, but there you go. After the match, we're going to have the Wyatt Six come out, and they are going to challenge DIY for the Tag Team Championships at Survivor Series. DIY accepts, and we're going to have the Wyatt Six win at Survivor Series. So, there you go. I noticed there were 4 matches on the card. There's still room for one more, and I think they don't have any tag team matches yet, even though you can kind of count the War Games matches as tag team matches, I guess. But they don't have a tag team match. I think it's either this one or Jade Cargill versus Michin. I guess we could do Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee, I guess. But yeah, many potential matches, but I'd rather have a tag team match because they don't have a tag team centered match on the card. So might as well put them there. We'll move on to Melo as he takes on Bronson Reed. That is the main event in my version of the show. Carmelo Hayes wins by pinfall due to a distraction from one Cody Rhodes. After the match, Cody and Bronson brawl. Then we have the usual brawl that was happening at the end of Raw, where you have Division come out, Logan Paul comes out, and then we have CM Punk and Jey Uso come out, and then Brock Lesnar comes out, and then Roman Reigns comes out. We do the whole brawl from Raw all over again. But this time, I guess the heels are on top because we got to make this 50-50 booking. We got to make it even so that people are guessing who they think is going to win the War Games. I am on the heel side. I think the heels are going to win here. And I think to me, it means more that the heels win War Games because it establishes Division as a prominent faction. And it establishes that, they're unstoppable. And their next goal is taking down CM Punk for that title. And maybe it'll generate some more stuff for SmackDown as well, because this show certainly needs some fucking energy. Any questions?
Okay. So you actually have Melo going over. That's interesting. I kind of thought that at first. I was like, usually in a tournament, they like to have this Cinderella story guy where they have one guy who goes farther than most people think he would go. I think it was last year in King of the Ring, it was Sami Zayn, I think. They kind of did that a little bit with him. But then I realized that this is Road Dogg, and he probably will just end up booking Bronson Reed to win. So,
yeah, that it could be the case. I think Bronson Reed is going to be screwed. The reason why I put it in the main event was because, Bronson Reed, he's part of the division. We got to build up the men's War Games match. So I think they're going to put him in that main event spot. And because of this whole War Games angle, and we got to build the men's War Games match, he is going to be screwed. And, well, he's going to be screwed by the babyface faction, I guess, right? By Cody Rhodes. Remember, Cody Rhodes had a championship match against Bronson Reed last week on SmackDown. Ended in a DQ. So I think it's going to not end in a DQ. It'll happen where Cody or someone else from the babyface team interferes on this match, and Bronson Reed gets fucked, and then we have the brawl from Raw all over again. Blah blah blah. So I think Bronson is not gonna win. We gotta build up to this War Games match. He's more concentrated on that than the John Cena tournament. And plus, freaking, I forgot his name already. Melo Hayes, Carmelo Hayes won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Road Dogg. Doesn't that mean anything? It means that you should freaking push this guy. And I think he will benefit from a match with John Cena. They're both from the same state. Why not? So
Okay, yeah, I could definitely see that happening, but I still think it goes to either Gunther or maybe Penta, but or that'd be interesting.
I don't think. Okay, yeah. Despite that, I don't think that. I don't think Carmelo Hayes is going to the finals. We don't even know what the bracket is. Like this is my main complaint about this tournament. Like there's no bracket. How can I know what the next matches are if I can't even see the goddamn bracket?
Well, I think it's the two SmackDown guys whoever wins on SmackDown, the two SmackDown guys, and then the two Raw guys, and then I'm assuming that they have like a match probably on like the Raw or the SmackDown before the show to determine who the winner is. So, right, or maybe, or is it at Survivor Series? I think it might be at Survivor Series where they do that.
Right, but I feel like I need a visual, so that I don't get confused as to like who goes against who, and like the result of that. I just need like a clear kind of big picture, like the King of the Ring tournament. You know who the people are, you know what the matches are, right? And then you know what the result of that match is going to carry over to the next part of the tournament. Like that's what I want. Like I want a clear picture of that. I don't know where that went. I guess we got far away from that, I suppose, but anyway, I don't think that Carmelo Hayes is going far. I would imagine he would go as far as semifinals, and then that's it. But I think this tournament needs to showcase Carmelo Hayes' ability, and they need to put him over. But right. I know it's wishful thinking up to this point, but I think they need to build up Carmelo Hayes. But whatever. I guess Bronson Reed needs to dominate. Any other questions?
Nope. I am ready to do my card.
All right. Let's go on to your card, starting off with.
So we actually start off with a Roman Reigns promo. Roman comes out. As you know, he showed up last week. Monday? Was it last week or Monday, dude? I hate this non-brand split. It's so confusing.
Monday. He came out this
Monday. He showed up on Monday. To help out the face team. He explains why he joined Cody's team, why he accepted CM Punk's invitation to join his team. And Roman is then interrupted by the Vision, Paul Heyman and all. Braun Breaker does his best Forrest Gump impression and sprints down to the ring. Drew follows him, and he and Drew attack Roman. Cody runs out after them, and this ends up being the main event. It is a tag team match.
I would have saved this explanation to next week on Raw, because I think they're using SmackDown as a build up for the women's War Games match, and then
I thought that
even
too,
the
and
men.
they just had the woman do a build up on Raw. So
Yeah,
who the fuck knows, Brian? Who the fuck knows anymore?
I know. It's messy. It's very messy. But all right, what do you suppose the reason is? Does it have something to do with Jey Uso? Do you think it has something to do with Jimmy and Jay and helping them out, or
Oh, why he explained? I think it's probably because he wants revenge at Paul Heyman, mainly, and then he also, he sees it as his path towards getting his championship back from Cody.
okay?
So
So you think Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes may be the game plan for next year's WrestleMania, or
possibly. Um,
okay?
it depends on who wins the Royal Rumble, and I think, which we all think is going to be Sami Zayn.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be Sammy.
Um, I think it may end up being. I think Sami is probably going to challenge for the World Heavyweight title. So whoever holds that at that point will face Sami. So
Okay, I'll reserve the rest for the main event, I suppose. We'll move on from that to
Penta versus Finn Balor. Finn is taking the pin per usual. The Judgment Day try to interfere, but Sheamus comes out to save Penta. Actually, Sheamus comes out with AJ Styles. Actually, no, sorry, no, just Sheamus. I didn't have AJ Styles. They actually tag teamed last week, but this week it's just Sheamus that comes out. Sheamus comes out to help Penta secure the win. Sheamus has some random feud with the Judgment Day right now, so who the hell knows? But yeah, I think Penta wins this one. He moves on.
all right, cool. I think Sheamus is gonna be in that traditional 5-on-5 match the week after next
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
Yeah,
They said they wanted to do it before Survive like War Games. They wanted to do a traditional Survivor Series match.
makes no sense. First of all, but okay.
You said before. You said before at War Games, and I'm like, so like on the pre-show or like the SmackDown?
I assume it's
Like,
the
what
go
do you
home show.
mean?
I assume it's the go home show.
It probably is the go home show. Yes, probably
Which
is the go
like
home show. So.
what?
But like, why?
I don't know, man. They literally have 4 matches booked so far, and they need to add a fifth
You
one.
could put you could put a Survivor Series match on that one.
Yeah,
You know.
whatever. Okay, who do you think wins that traditional Survivor Series match, if you care at all? I suppose.
Who is it again? It's Sheamus, Ray Phoenix,
Shinsuke
Shinsuke, and the Motor City Machine Guns, right?
versus the Wyatt Six.
Versus not the Wyatt Six,
Oh, it's
MFTs, right?
MFTs. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's probably the
My bad.
MFTs that win that one, honestly, because I think they need to give them some credibility. And beating up a bunch of mid card people helps out a little bit.
Yeah, great.
So
Okay, well, we'll move on from that to
Sami Zayn versus Solo Sikoa. This was mentioned in the backstage segment last week. Yes, they are going back to this well. I don't know why, but apparently they are. This is probably to give Sami a little bit of a boost for his eventual Royal Rumble win. So I think this ends in a DQ thanks to the MFTs, and this continues the build to whatever or wherever this 5-man Survivor Series match will be held. Because the Motor City Machine Guns, Shinsuke, and Ray Phoenix run in after the bell to help Sami defend against the MFTs.
yeah. I forgot this Survivor Series match was even happening. I look at last week's notes and I'm like, okay, yeah, cool. I forgot that a 5-on-5 Survivor Series match is happening.
This is the Temu War Games match.
We're putting in the go home show. Fuck it. We're not doing it officially.
This is the War Games match for the people who can't afford to go see the pay per view.
Is it like $180 for like one ticket? Like for the cheapest spot, it's 180. That's insane.
I mean, I don't know how expensive they used to be, but that doesn't seem like too bad for like one of the big four. Unless you're talking about SmackDown, then that's kind of crazy. But
Yeah. I think they also revealed the prices for next year's WrestleMania, and apparently it's pretty high too. So
yeah, I wouldn't be
there you
surprised.
go.
Yeah, I mean that's a
Yeah.
big stadium, but yeah, sure.
It's Las Vegas too, so
It is Las Vegas.
kind of
Yeah,
expected. Okay, well, anyway, we'll move on from that too.
a Chelsea Green promo. I believe this actually was booked as Chelsea Green's U.S. title celebration again. We've already had this before, but apparently she wants another one, so we're going to give it to her. She is interrupted by Kiana James. So Kiana comes out, congratulates her in winning the title, and offers her services. Chelsea says, "Well, you can join the Secret Service if you want to help me out, but otherwise, I don't need you." Kiana then, I guess, gets in a little bit of a scuffle with Chelsea, and Kiana then challenges her to a U.S. title fight next week on SmackDown. I think this is a way for Chelsea to get a little bit of a build as the U.S. championship, as the U.S. champion, and get her to half of the defenses that Julia had during her reign within 2 weeks of her getting the title.
Oh man, what are we gonna do with Julia? What are we gonna
Send
do?
her to the Shadow Realm, I guess. I don't know. Get her some English classes. I've heard her failed U.S. title reign more on Road Dogg than anyone else. It really felt that he just gave her the title and then completely forgot that she existed.
Yeah,
And then after realizing that, he put her out there and tried to give her a promo after realizing she can't really speak English that well, he was like, "Ah, shit. Well, um, all right, maybe Kiana James, you doing anything? No, okay, you get in here." And they gave it to her, and then I don't know. It seems like he really fumbled that opportunity, unfortunately.
yeah. He really tried to sort out the whole thing with Kiana James, and it didn't pan out. So he's like, "Fuck it, let's just give it back to
See,
Chelsea."
I don't know enough about the business, but like it seems more on the Booker side that failed because like
Yeah,
if it comes down to the wrestler, you think of a guy like David Flair who got a lot of chances and just absolutely sucked ass every time he was out there.
true.
You put it on him, but like we never saw Julia I think
Yeah,
we
no,
saw her total. I think like once every other week.
yeah,
And I was like, why is she off TV unless she was hurt? But that's on
he's
the
not
booker,
though.
unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just fascinating to see how. Yeah, I. It's just terrible what happened to Julia there. Maybe send her
Yeah.
back down to NXT. I don't know,
Probably. Yeah.
but yeah, that sucks. So you think Kiana James wins this one, or do you think Chelsea keeps that
Nope.
title?
I think Chelsea keeps it. This is feeding her a jobber to build up her title reign. Yes.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll move on from that to.
Mia Yim versus Jade Cargill. You're not streaming for me, by the way, so I'm assuming you found a picture of Mia Yim. I don't even
I
know who
have,
Mia
yeah.
Yim was, but okay, good. I
Well,
saw I
well,
saw
you.
her in the.
Yeah, actually, you named her by her actual name and not Michin, because she is called Michin in the WWE.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I just saw this in the notes because I had Jade Cargill down. This is when we were in the middle of doing something. I had Jade
Yeah,
Cargill winning by a pinfall against or not. I had Jade Cargill winning by a pinfall again, and I didn't actually record what happened after she won. and I looked at the notes online, and it said Mia Yim, and I'm like, okay, I don't know who this is. And I guess it is Michin. Thank you for enlightening me. Okay, never mind. Yeah, it is Michin versus Jade Cargill. I think Jade Cargill wins this one by a pinfall. This happened because Michin confronted her last week after the match with BFAB. This makes more sense now because they are a tag team. And Jade gets fed another jobber to strengthen her status as the women's champion. So,
Yep. Yeah. No notes. Let's just move on. We'll move on to
Fraxium versus DIY. This is already booked. I think DIY actually wins this one because I think they're trying to potentially build Ciampa as a singles heel to go for the US title, and I think this is a way to sort of give him a little bit of credibility. Otherwise, I don't know what all this posturing and him, yelling at Ilya Dragunov every week is for.
yeah.
So I think that DIY wins. Ciampa tries to beat up Axiom or Nathan Frazier, either one post match, and then Ilya comes down to save the day.
Maybe they're trying to push Tommaso Ciampa as a single star, which
I think they have to break up DIY first, which I think this could also be a route too, because it seems like Tommaso was very much the aggressive partner here, and Johnny is just sort of like there,
yeah,
getting roped into all of his problems. Yeah, I'm for it.
Yeah.
I'm a big Tommaso Ciampa fan. I'm for it. I want my boy to win. So
yeah. I will say that Tommaso works better as a heel, and Johnny works better as a face. But yeah. Okay. So, do you think this goes anywhere? where do you think this goes?
Eventually? I think this leads to Ciampa versus Ilya next week on SmackDown for the U.S. title.
Okay.
I think Ilya wins. I think he's super over right now. But yeah, that's where the leads.
All right. With that, let's move on to
Carmelo Hayes versus Bronson Reed. I'm going to differ from you. I think Bronson Reed wins this one. Again, I originally thought maybe Carmelo wins this one, pulls off the upset. They give Carmelo the sort of the Cinderella story in the tournament. But again, this is Road Dogg. And also, I need to remind you yet again for like the fifth episode in a row that Bronson Reed beat Roman Reigns 1-on-1 clean.
Yeah.
So you need to treat him like that because you can't just brush that off like Road Dogg seems like he wants to do. And I think that because of that, Bronson Reed has the stronger case for going over here. I think Bronson Reed wins via pinfall. No interference from the Vision, though, because Bronson Reed can handle his business on his own.
Yeah, I feel like they kind of booked themselves into a corner with this one. It's like they're damned if they pick the other guy, and they're damned if they pick Bronson Reed. So it's like
your solution is more creative, but as you know, Road Dogg isn't that creative.
Yeah,
your solution makes sense. If you want to protect both guys, you have Cody interfere in the match to cost Bronson the title, the win. So
yeah. Road Dogg is not great. All right, well, we'll see what happens there. And last but not least, we'll move on from that too.
The main event, which is Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes versus Braun Breaker and Drew McIntyre. I think Cody and Roman win this one, despite the rest of the Vision coming down to interfere. I think the rest of the face team, so Unk and Yeet Man, both come down to help out Cody and Roman. Wait, who's the fifth man for the face team? It's Cody, Roman, Unk, Yeet Man,
Jimmy.
And Jimmy. Why is Jimmy on this team? What the fuck?
Because
Really?
he has
Who
Jay's
invited
back.
my man Blood, man? I guess, because he is Jay's brother. But
Yeah.
man, who invited my man Blood, bro? Whatever. Fine.
Jimmy Uso
He
is a
was in
star,
last year, wasn't
man. He's a star. We need to put him in war games, bro.
Oh, fine. He works with Jey Uso. That's fine. Anyway, so Eat Man and Eat Man and the No Eat Man come out. They assist, turns into a brawl, and the baby and the heel. And the baby faces are on top. After the show. Now, I believe in 50-50 booking, so I think next week, whatever happens, the heels go on top, and then that means that the baby faces will win at the fight, at the main event, or sorry, at the pay-per-view. Geez. So there you go.
Yeah, cool. I don't have. I guess I cleared up my questions because I don't have anything. All right, well, I guess that's it. That's what we got. Let's see what Road Dogg has cooked up. It better be a decent fucking meal, I can tell you that for a fact. But yeah, we'll see what happens this Friday. And we will score our prediction bookings, as I said earlier. And we will tell you what we got on the next episode of the show. So until then, thank you for ordering a blue cheese pizza called probably next week on Smackdown from Grapperinos. And remember, if you're down for some fresh, oven-baked, crispy wrestling content, stop on by Grapperinos and order yourselves some content you can grapple with. See you next time, Grapperinos.